Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvasisha Sundavadi Satyadi Shutari Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvasisha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Bhakta Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare What a nice way to start anything. Huh? A little bit of Krishna always helps. So, what should we do? Should we talk questions and answers? You want me to read something from Bhagavad Gita and discuss on that? What would you like? I'm your servant.
Could you please talk about the personal feature of Krishna.
Yeah, actually, that's a good one. That's good.
Why we are under in this illusion of separation and why there appears to be no God.
That's a very good, actually, that's good. Good suggestion. Does everybody concur?
Correct. I don't dare grandfather agrees too, yeah.
Namaste. I've got my place marked, so I can't lose it. Why do I do this? I can never find anything, but I've got all these marks. Foolish. I was thinking that this is it. Huh?
Do you want Brahmana Vipratishta?
Let's see. I had a second thought here. What did you think? What was your
No, I was
suggestion?
going to say that Brahmana, I didn't see it.
Sometimes I know it. I know the verse I'm looking for, but it evades me.
If you want Brahmana Vipratishta, it's on a different book.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember. It's not 7:1. It's not the 9th chapter. 12th chapter.
It says 5:17.
Yeah, those first few verses in 12.
Ah, here it is. I just had the numbers confused. So this is a good, it's such a good area to discuss because Arjuna himself wondered. All through the Bhagavad Gita, all through this conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, Krishna is telling Arjuna about all these different forms of worship. You see, so Arjuna hears that there's devotional service to Krishna, or those who have this feeling that they want to merge into the impersonal Brahman. Now, some people think that they can merge into Krishna, which is just, it's like nothing but ego thinking. I want to. Not only do I want to, but I can and I will merge into God. I'm going to go catch him, and I'm going to merge with him. You see, for the devotee, when we hear someone say like that, we think, my dear person, what makes you feel like that, But some people think that they can. And in being able, if I allow myself that privilege that I can merge with God, then I could also say that also means that I'm God. I am God. Now, they'll also agree that you're God too. I'll let you be God so I can be God. But I am God, you are God. It's very common. And that's a twist of Mayavad philosophy. See, the Mayavadis really just want to merge into the personal, the Brahman effulgence of Krishna. You see, but then they think, well, that is God. That light is God. And I'm going to go merge into it. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But let's see. Arjuna wondered, he's heard of all these different descriptions of paths. We don't deny that path is there. You can, if you want to, go and merge into that beautiful light. We're not saying you can't do it. Oh, there's a path. We've got a roadmap. Not only is it possible, but Krishna in the early parts of the Bhagavad Gita describes how you can do it. It's not very much like the New Agers that claim that you can. It's nothing like that. Krishna says you have to find a solitude place, a very solitary place. You have to have certain things present. You have to sit with perfect posture. You have to control your breathing. You have to focus your attention onto a point 1/4 inch off the tip of your nose. You have to bring the life's airs up into the upper part of the body. And you have to meditate undisturbed for a long period of time. I'm not talking a couple of hours. I'm talking a long time. And if you can do like that, that's called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga. But it's not practical for us to practice in this day. And what do you get for it? You get to merge into the impersonal Brahman. So, let's think about that for a moment. Let's say you can do that, which you can. So, what I always ask people is, let's say you do it. Let's say that, forget the Ashtanga Yoga. Let's say that whatever your way is of doing it, meditating 20 minutes a day or an hour a day or whatever it is you're doing. But first thing with Ashtanga Yoga is absolute control of the senses. You have to control the senses 100%. In other words, you have zero sense gratification. You do not gratify the senses whatsoever. I mean, to perform this Ashtanga Yoga is just really difficult. So let's say you do, but let's say you don't even have to do all that. Let's say you can do it the way they say you can do it now. Doesn't work, but let's say you can. And let's say you die, you leave your body, and here you are. Now you've merged into the light. Okay? So here you are. Picture it. You've merged into the light. Okay, now what? Here we are. We're in the light. So what do we do next? It's really nice. I'm really peaceful. All the peace that I thought I would get is here. Is there anybody else here? It's bright. I like this. It's plenty of bright. Did I say peaceful? I'm peaceful. So, what next? What do you get? So you can focus on your own peacefulness for a long, long time. But there's something missing in your life that you're not going to have any access to. And it's the thing that drives you. It's the thing that drives Krishna. And you can't taste it because of your situation. What is that?
Relationship.
Yeah. Relationship. Well, what kind of relationship?
Loving.
Love. So after you've sat there for 100,000 years, 100 million years, whatever it is, you could be so wrapped up in your own self and the fact that you've done this, you merged into the light, that you may not think of having any loving exchange for a long period of time. So what happens when that comes, when you start to want relationship, association? Now, keep in mind, you've merged into the light, your soul, but it's not like you've become the light. It's not like dropping a drop of water into the ocean. Then it disappears, It's like dropping a piece of sand on the beach. It looks like it's merged with the beach, but if you look closely, it's a whole bunch of little tiny grains, you see. So you're still individual, but it is as if you have merged. So you don't have senses. You don't have a gross body. You don't have senses. Very little bit of perception. All you know is you're peaceful. Shanti. You've achieved Shanti. Sanskrit word for peace. So after a while, you're going to want love. You're going to want close, warm exchange. See? Because that's what we are. We're creatures of love. See? Some people say, well, maybe your thing, but no. There are some things we all have. They're absolutes that we all share. Absolutely. We are all creatures of love. It's just like we can say we're all individual human beings. We've all got to have water. You don't ever find anybody so puffed up and say, well, you may need the stuff, but I don't need it. You've got to have oxygen. There's some things you've got to have. There are absolutes. And some people try so hard to be individual and so different from the rest. But there's some things that you've got that we share. And that's true on the soul level as well. And one thing that we must have, we cannot live without, is love. And not just some cheap love. We have to have a real thing. See, because for eternity, before we came to this material world, that's what we had. That's what we're made of. That's what we're all about. You see. So at that time, the living entity will turn around and come back to the material world. He'll return, take birth again, and continue his journey. That's why you may meet some people who are who take the spiritual life just at a snap. I mean, they barely. You've seen it over the years. Some people come in contact with the devotees, and man, it's just like immediately they're awakened. You know, so they've gone. They've gone to the impersonal Brahman, and they've come back. They've been liberated, but they've returned, seeking love, and they become devotees very quickly. You see, very quickly, because this is now what I didn't know what I was looking for before, but now I know. I know this is it. You know, so some people that we'll rub elbows with have already been liberated into the spiritual world, but only to the Brahman, which is like the outer covering. You know, trying to get love in the impersonal Brahman, as Prabhupada says, is like trying to taste honey by licking the jar. You're so close. And you may be thinking, oh, I can taste this stuff. I know this is good, you know. But, you know, there's such a wonderful flavor inside. See? So Arjuna asked that question, and I'll leave the Sanskrit out. I'll just read it. Arjuna inquired, which are considered by you to be more perfect, those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifest? Good question. Boy, if we had Krishna here, we'd ask him. We already know, but you know, if we...
What verse is that?
Huh?
What verse is that?
This is 12:1. Arjuna knew the answer to this. You see, he's an eternal associate. If Arjuna knew the answer to this, why did he ask the question? Does anybody know?
So we can be in Arjuna's position to ask.
For our benefit.
He's our representative.
For our benefit. Yeah. He knows there are millions, gazillions of people that want to know the answer to this question. And I, being Krishna's friend, have an opportunity to ask him. And I know this is going to be recorded. There are millions of people listening to this conversation. So for the benefit of all living entities, I'm going to ask so many of these questions he asked Krishna. He already knew the answer. When he surrendered to Krishna as his disciple, he already was. You see, he and Krishna have had this relationship for eternity. You see, it's always going on. Arjuna is asking Krishna this question right now, somewhere in the cosmos. You see, for the benefit of all living entities. So, Bhagavan, Krishna says, Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds upon my personal form and are always engaged in worshiping me with great transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Now, Krishna doesn't say it's the only way, you're going to go to hell if you don't do it this way. He says, I think this is more perfect. That's my opinion. You know? But then he goes on. Krishna says, but those who fully worship the unmanifested, which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, which is him, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in welfare of all at last achieve me. So Krishna says, you can kind of go this way or you can go that way, you know. So Arjuna probably had a look on his face like, I mean, you know, you're saying one's more perfect, but if I do this, at last I come to you. How do we at last come to Krishna? if we stop in the impersonal Brahman, if we just stop and lick the jar, how do we ultimately get to taste the honey? We come back and we take a different path, ultimately. And we may come back again, and again and again. Ultimately, if we keep on pursuing the Supreme, we will get it. Ultimately. And Krishna goes on to say, for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So he's saying you can do it. It's very difficult, you see. So it's kind of like, if you ask, if you tell somebody, I'm thinking about going to Phoenix, and it's in August, and you tell them, what? It's 115 degrees up there, they're frying eggs on the sidewalk. I'm telling you, think about what you're doing. Well, I just want to go. Really? Are you looking for intense heat? Not necessarily. But I have a mindset on going to Phoenix. And you don't want intense heat? No, I don't want intense heat, but I want Phoenix. All right. So, I-10 West, it'll get you there. You see? So some people have decided that they want to achieve a certain goal for whatever reason. I want to achieve the impersonal Brahman. So, what reasons? What would be a good reason? Why not become a devotee of Krishna?
You don't have to surrender.
Yeah, you don't have to surrender.
You can avoid people.
Yeah, you can get away from it all. This impersonal Brahman is what the Buddhists call nirvana. This word, nirvana, some people think nirvana is a Chinese word, but it's Sanskrit. Lord Buddha came from India. Nirvana means, what does nirvana mean?
Empty.
Huh? Empty. It means nothing.
No forest.
Nothing. Yeah, nirvana. Vana is forest. Near, nothing. Zero or without.
Without a forest.
It's a bare forest. You see. In other words, a place where there's nothing. Just nothing. So that's the impersonal Brahman. There's nothing. There's light. Some Buddhists nowadays think that there's just darkness, and they also believe that it's void. But you cannot achieve void because you can't go someplace where there's not Krishna's energy. He's all pervasive. So there's something there in the light. That's his energy. You see? But there's a difference. It's just like you might have experimented. Sometimes on a sunny day, you could see the light coming through the window, and it hits on the floor. And you can put your hand in it, you can see the light, and you can feel it. It's warm. And you think, that's the sun. The sun's in our room. It's on the floor. Well, but wait a minute. The sun is 93 million miles away. But this is the sun too, isn't it? It's the sun's energy. And the sun is the energetic. It's the giving of the energy. You see. So the Brahmajyoti is like that. It is the energy of Krishna, but Krishna is the energetic. You see. There's a difference between the energetic and the energy. They are one and the same, yet they're different. So you can experience Krishna by worshiping his effulgence. You can think, I've got it all. You can lick the jar and try to taste the sweet honey. You see, it's possible. Some people are so satisfied with that they can remain there for a long time. Some are so stubborn they stay there for multitudes of yugas. Because I'm here and I don't have to bow down. You ever heard anybody say this? I ain't bowing down to nobody. You ever heard that? I don't bow down to nobody. You hear that mostly in Texas. In New England, they say, I don't bow to anyone. But in Texas, I ain't bowing to nobody. It depends on where you go. But I don't want to offer respect to Krishna, God. I don't want to give him a leg up on me. I don't want to, if I give him a personality, if I allow this entity, God, to have a personality in my conception, then that personality could have some desires. And those desires could be different from my desires. And that makes me feel uncomfortable. You know? It could ask me to do something, and it could ask me to do something I don't want to do. You see, I don't want any of this. I would rather keep that personality in a jar someplace, you know, out of the way, and just deal with the energy of God. And you notice the impersonalists, they use that word a lot, energy. Well, I believe that God is the universal energy that pervades the whole cosmos. Okay, true. I'm with you there. But there's more to it. If there's energy, there is an energetic. Unless there's just energy bouncing around, it's just, and the energy has no beginning, no end. Nobody generates the energy. It's just energy. So I'm part of that cosmic energy, and ultimately I'll go merge with it. Which means I'm just as good as that doggone energy is. That energy's got nothing on me. You see. I don't have to bow down to that energy. I don't have to give it any respect. I'm as good as it is. You see. So, there's a tendency to hide in that way, hide from Krishna, you see. And it's very unfortunate because we're denying ourselves real love. You really can't have love in the impersonal Brahman. You can't love energy, you know. It's just like, you know, if you look at a light bulb and you see the light coming out, you know, you can appreciate it. If you go into a dark room and you flick the switch and the light comes on, you think, I'm glad, I'm thankful. The light came on, now I can see. But you can't have any relationship with the light. You know, you can't love the light. And even if you did, it can't love you back. There's not going to be any exchange. You see? So, to exchange of love, there has to be personality. There has to be a lovable. You see? For love to take place, there must be the lover and the lovable. And in exchange, it comes back. It doesn't just keep going from the lover to the lovable. So there's an exchange, it comes back. You see? If it doesn't come back, it's just one-sided. You know. So, and that's not true, complete love. So, unfortunately, people who are simply chasing the impersonal Brahman, they're denying themselves that for whatever reason, they're denying themselves love. You see, it's how do you be a loving person without an object of your love? In the impersonal Brahman, it's nil. It's not there. There is nothing to love. You know, you can say, but I feel love. Okay, you know.
Would the attraction to want to merge with the impersonal, part of it be, then I don't have to do anything?
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything. I'm as good as anybody.
There's nothing more to do.
Yeah. I'm as good as anybody. In other words, it's the opposite from the Vaishnava. The Vaishnava feels, I'm not as good as anybody. You know? I'm lower than the straw on the street.
Would desiring to merge with the Brahman effulgence kind of go along with the saying, if you can't beat him, join him?
Yeah, it sounds like that, doesn't it? Yeah, if you can't beat him, join him. I can't beat God, so I'll just go merge. I'll join him. I'll become a part of it. It's a way of bringing him down to a level that I can compete with. You see, I don't want to give him this heroic personality. That's no good, because then I have to offer him my worship. You see, we don't realize that if I do that, then I can offer him my love. Krishna only accepts worship because it's good for us. He doesn't want it. You know, when two people are in love with each other, one of them doesn't demand the other. As soon as one of them demands worship from the other, then the love is just, it's run into a brick wall, hasn't it? So, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you too. All right, when are you going to start worshiping me? Why? Boy, let's back the trolley up a little bit and talk about the love. You see what I mean? So Krishna's not like that. He say, hey, when are you going to worship me? He said, well, he wants love. You see, he wants the real thing, total love, loving exchange. So Krishna wants us to surrender. Why? Because that's what lovers do. You know, you don't keep your lover at arm's length. You want your lover close. You see, so Krishna wants us to surrender to him so that he can surrender to us. That's what lovers do. They surrender to one another. You see, so Krishna wants that relationship. He doesn't want worship. We need to worship him so that we'll gain respect and so on. But as time goes by, as our love for him grows, he's just wonderful Krishna. He's not God. You see? We don't always think of... In Goloka Vrindavan, nobody thinks of Krishna as God. In Krishna Loka. It's like that comedian, who was that? He doesn't get any respect. Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah, here's Krishna. I'll tell you, I don't get any respect. I created everything. Nobody respects me. Now, Krishna doesn't get any respect. He gets love. Sometimes lovers chastise one another. Radharani chastises Krishna a lot. You know, loving exchange. You see, so it's very unfortunate that people would choose that path. You see, and want and what another thing that's very common in this day. What time should we wrap this up? It's 7:30 right now.
It's up to you guys.
Another 10 minutes? You tell me.
Yeah.
All right. Very common right now in this day and age, and I talk about this a lot because it's extremely common. You talk to somebody and they say, you say, you know, are you spiritual? Yeah, I have spiritual thing. I do my own thing. Wait, time out here. You do your own thing. You got your own religion? Why? I've got my own thing. So you find out when you get to know them that it's a little piece of this, a little bit of Zen Buddhism, a little bit of Christianity, a little bit of Hare Krishna, because I love kirtan. You know, a little bit of this. My mother was Jewish, so I've got some Jewish in it. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. My best friend growing up was Catholic. I went to Catholic church a lot, so I got a whole bunch of stuff. That ought to be good, shouldn't it? So, you know, you think, well, wait a minute. That's like, you know, if I said, let's say you're going to go to Los Angeles and you need a car because the car you have is broken down, so you need to get a car to get you to Los Angeles. So I say, hey, look, I've got one. Man, it's a great one, too. Oh, yeah, well, what kind is it? Well, it's kind of like it's my own thing. It's got a Dodge van body, and the engine is Toyota Some of the pistons are from Hyundai. Some of them are from Nissan. 3 of the wheels are Ford. 1 is Chevy. And you see, you go on. You got it all pieced together, all these different things. But it'll get you there, won't it? You think, well, I don't have a lot of faith in that, But they're all good. There's not every one of those manufacturers makes really good stuff. You see, so that's one example. But another, it's just like if you're going to go somewhere, but you take paths that go all these different directions. Where are you going to wind up? I mean, are you going to go anywhere? The problem when people say, I've got my own thing, is they don't know where to go. It's like going into a travel agent and you say, hey, I want to go on vacation. What's the guy going to ask?
Where are you going to go?
Where would you like to go? Well, what do you mean? Well, you got to have a destination. Well, why? Well, what do you want? I mean, do you want beach? You can go to Hawaii. If you want snow and skiing, you can go to Vail. So you got to know what the heck do you expect when you get there. Otherwise, you're not on a path. You're not going anywhere. Where are you going? To know that, you got to figure out what do you want. To choose a destination. What do you want? Then we can figure out where the destination is where you can get that. Once you've got the destination, we can find a path that'll take you there. So you can see how unfortunate it is. I don't like to pick on people too much, but you can see the confusion. So in other words, is that spiritual? I'm going nowhere. I have no destination, and I don't have a clue what I want when I get there, so I'll never know when I arrive. You see? But it's my thing.
Is it strange to call it spiritual suicide in a way? Because as you said, there's so many different paths that you're creating, so you become more confused. So when you quit your body, what do you attain then? So it's kind of rushing the left, so to speak.
Yeah. In India, they have, sometimes when we're preaching in India, sometimes people will say, Yatamat Patata, which means so many destinations, so many paths. And they say that when you've got them down, you've defeated them, So, Yatamat Patata. So many destinations. And that's right, there are so many destinations. You can go to the impersonal Brahman. Let's say you don't want to have a loving relationship with Krishna. You don't want to go hug God. You don't want to kiss him on the face. You see? You don't want to hold his hand. You want to keep him a little farther away. I want God, but I don't want God 24/7, So maybe I want awe and reverence with God. I want to keep him, bow down to him a block away. So perhaps you want to go to Lord Narayan's planet, with Krishna's, or at least not Krishna, God. It's Krishna, but in his Narayan form. And he's worshipped in great awe and reverence. See? Krishna's unlimited. He has unlimited names. He has unlimited forms. So whatever your unlimited desires are, there is a place where you can go and have it satisfied. If you want to go merge with the energy, you can do that. If you want to go keep Krishna, keep God away from you, just so you can worship at a distance, you can do that. Okay? So there are so many different destinations. And there are so many different paths. So we, the devotees of Krishna, we're just trying to say, let me show you something that's on the table. I use this analogy. Let's say that you go into a restaurant and you've never been there before. People are telling you, this is the greatest place. So you go and eat. sit down and you look at the menu and you think, oh, this sounds really good right here. The best thing on the menu. This sounds wonderful. So you order it. And then the waiter brings your food and you start to eat and you think, oh, this is very satisfying. And then you look over at this guy's plate over the table across the way and you think, wow, what is that? That's great. And you think, waiter, I says, yes. What's this guy got over there? Oh, well, that's special. That's not on the menu. Well, why the heck not? I would have ordered that if I'd have known it was available. Well, see, he knows the chef. He's a friend of the chef. And so, they have this relationship. See? So, but next time I come, I want that. That looks really, really good. So, true love with God isn't on the menu, you see. And Rupa Goswami just talks in Nectar Devotion how if you encounter Krishna, it's as if he's got one hand behind him. And Krishna says, oh, I'll grant anything you want. What would you like? And you say, well, what is that behind your back? Oh, there's nothing behind my back. Well, no, you've got a hand. Oh, well, there's nothing. No, what do you have? What is that? Krishna keeps devotional service. He doesn't offer it. You've got to seek it out. If you want a loving relationship with Krishna, he's not so cheap that he's going to try to sell it or push it on anybody. That's not love. Love means you seek him out. So we, the preachers of the Krishna consciousness movement, our job is to let people know what's on the menu. I'm not saying that your path is bogus. I just want you to know what's available. You can have a loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You see? And he'll treat you like an equal. Or even sometimes he'll be your subordinate.
Well, I was reading something by Dialogues. This is a great book, by the way, The Journey of Self-Discovery. So it's all these different essays. And it's a question and answer between a disciple or somebody talking to Srila Prabhupada and asking questions about, okay, how does it compare to Buddhism and Hinduism and Christianity and whatever? And he goes, forget about being Jewish, forget about being Christian, forget about being, just follow Krishna. And one of the things that I come across in talking to people is thinking that this is a form of Hinduism. And Prabhupada makes it clear this is not Hinduism.
We're not Hindus.
We're not Hindus. Yeah.
So,
it's very interesting. So, I always come back to the light bulb went off for me. One of the light bulbs went off for me when I read a passage that was probably over a year ago in the Bhagavad Gita. Abandon all other forms of religion and just follow me.
Exactly.
And it just bang! It just slammed me on it because I thought, wow. It's simple. It's elegant and simple.
Yeah.
And so, and then how to develop that. I think that's always the question. Because we talk about developing the love of Krishna, and how to develop the love of Krishna. In my experience, it doesn't happen through the brain. All our upstairs equipment happens through actually just the chanting.
Yeah.
The practice of chanting.
By associating through the chanting of Lord Krishna. And associating with Krishna's devotees, others. Then we get a taste. First the chanting. We chant Hare Krishna. When we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're associating directly with Krishna. In the beginning, we don't know it. There's I'm just sitting here. I remember, in the beginning, most people feel like, okay, you say, okay, here I am, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Are you looking at me? Does anybody watch me do this? I feel so silly. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama. First, I chant real quick. Is the guy looking at me? No, Hare Krishna. So after some time of having faith and doing it, we start to find an attraction. Well, this is kind of nice. I do like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. So then you'll develop your chanting in a different way. You'll have different melodies that you chant. You'll chant high and you'll chant low, and it's just, you really kind of get into it. And after a while of this attraction, you become attached. Now you're attached. And there's no way of not chanting. You know, go a day without chanting, you think, oh, because this is, I want Krishna. I want this. I want to associate with Krishna. And I can associate with him in his name. See, I can vibrate that sound, Krishna, and he's there. I can have it. I don't have to ever be lonely and think, oh, where are you? Where are you? Some people say, why doesn't God show himself? You know, well, you chant Hare Krishna, he'll dance on your tongue. You see. So, yeah, by chanting Hare Krishna, we develop that taste. And after chanting Hare Krishna, that prayer is basically praying to Radharani, Krishna's feminine energy. My dear Lord Radharani, please engage me in the loving service of our beloved Krishna. And once Radharani sees that you're sincere, she thinks, oh, so wonderful. Yes, let me take you to Krishna to serve him. You see. We can't get to Krishna without him. You've got to go through her. You can't just walk up to Krishna and push Radharani aside and say, hey, Krishna. No, you've got to. You know, that energy of Hara, this Hare is Hara. That's Radharani. That's why we say that for Hare, Radha, Krishna. Hare Krishna. You see. Hare Rama. Rama is Balaram. A lot of people think it's Lord Ramchandra, but it's really Lord Balaram. So, yes. Oh, yeah. So many books we're having. If anybody's wanting, what do we have here? We have cookbooks, Bhagavad Gita. Does anybody here not have a Bhagavad Gita?
I'm short one Bhagavad Gita.
You need to get a Bhagavad.
Do you have one?
Just like half of one.
Huh?
The Reader's Digest.
You need this one. This is the good one.
Yeah, do you have one?
Me? No, not really.
Oh, well, you do now. We just see, yeah. See, it's got your name on it.
Wow.
What is your name, by the way?
Nick.
Huh? Nick? Yeah, this is yours.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's yours. So
Nick knows Tim through Starbucks.
Yeah.
So then I came in the store one day and started talking to him.
And downhill from there.
Right.
yes,
Yeah,
I
coffee.
yes, that's what
Where was
They're in trouble.
Right.
We have the new 2014 calendar with all the festivals, the fast days, and everything that just came out.
Oh, this is the new one.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
And everyone has a beautiful picture of Krishna.
fast days are on there. Slow days as well.
Yes, slow days too. So this is really nice.
So,
You only
yeah.
brought one.
Please
copy.
accept that as my gift.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'd like you to have it.
Nice. Just racking up books today.
Yeah, yeah. I hope you're an avid reader.
I am. I've only got
Yeah.
1,000 at home. So.
Well, you're in the right crowd. Yeah. It's not good to put it on the floor.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to find a place in my bag, which is full
Yeah,
of
look at
books.
this. Yeah, yeah. I'm the same way. If there's any room in my bag,
Yeah, there's a book.
I have to put something in
Yeah.
there, you know. But so, unless there are any questions, that's all I've got to say. But if there are any questions,
Actually, I have an announcement. If everyone knows Al over at
Yes.
Laura's, he's taking a turn for the worse. So she asked if some devotees could come over after this. So whoever.
oh, he's worse tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very no longer work.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
I'd like to
some of
go
us are
over.
definitely going over there if anyone else wants to come.
And I saw him yesterday. So he was actually doing well yesterday compared to the day before when you were there. What was that, Thursday night?
Yeah.
And so then I went to see him yesterday afternoon, and we had a nice conversation. His energy was up.
Yeah.
So, but this is very typical. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I kind of felt like he was even on an up wave when we were there the other night.
yeah,
I thought, this isn't the time yet, but
right.
probably close.
It's
you know,
close.
so-
I think it's close. I think he's doing a lot of work, and I think just all of us being there, just bringing this incredible spiritual energy, and like you said, just to have this at the end of his life is
Yeah.
a blessing for him.
He was
I asked
feeling
him-
so sorry. He was feeling so blessed. They were asking, "How do you feel?" You
Yeah.
were talking about that.
I asked him, I said, how do you feel? And he started to weep. He said, I feel so blessed. You know, and in the room, you guys were chanting down the hall, and I said, is that too loud? He looked at me. He was weeping. He looked up and he said, I love it. So he is you know, it was from the soul, from the heart. We say from the heart, but from the soul. He was saying, I'm just so blessed. He had this puzzled look on his face like, how did I get this kind of blessing? You know, he's so thankful. You know, I'm thinking, I can learn from this. I should feel so thankful. You know, sometimes I think I do, but
I was able to read some Krishna book to him today,
oh,
and he said, I think Krishna's preparing me.
what an understanding.
If there was any possibility for him to give him a shape, understanding, you know, he just meet with the words, but, you know, I think so. I heard that before, I saw that before. My son was very favorable to Krishna consciousness, and when they was about to do the body, they never practiced, but when they were about to do the body, I think so they got in shape before they did the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're favorable with second Krishna. I don't know how can we,
Yeah. Well, it's in the heart. Yeah, he needs to have, it's generally an idea that comes from the proposed disciple. So, yeah. It would be best.
because it's in that, I can't remember who, but this thing happened before. Before that to do the body, and everything they were before that it was very favorable, and they were really open.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Because actually him at this level I think is very advanced than more than some other devotees who've been in shape for so long. Big Maya, you know, him is very.
Yeah. He has a big advantage of having the end of his life right in front of him. And he knows it.
Yes.
You know, we think, oh, I know I'm going to die, but not right now. Not anytime soon. I'm going to live to be 100. And then all of a sudden you turn around and you're almost there. You know, so
And
some people might even think, well, maybe I'll live to be 120. You know, so, but he's very fortunate when you find out that the end is almost here. Gives you a chance to get very serious. You know. So, all right.
Thank
All
you so
glories
much.
to Srila Prabhupada.